Shalom, give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles for their edification and knowledge. And to Wadi Yahweh Shem Yoshua for putting the spirit of the elders and apostles so we become edified regarding this truth and knowledge and knowing this truth and knowledge. Call holy Yahweh Shem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. Give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yoshua Bashem Rakakadash. I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes. It's going to be a quick lesson relating to that incident at the Oscars, relating to Will Smith and Chris Rock. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 3. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So it's a time and season according to its purpose. A time to be born, a time to die. A time to plant, a time to pluck up, and which is planted. A time to kill, a time to heal. A time to break down, a time to build up. A time to weep, a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. To cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, a time to refrain. Let's go to that word refrain. Refrain means basically stop or hold oneself, or abstain or hold oneself from doing something. So one side didn't have that restraint enough or that discipline enough to refrain himself from doing certain things, man. Regardless what people think, stage or whatever the case might be. It's very inappropriate, man. Stop oneself from doing something. Abstain, desist, hold back, withhold, forbear. Forbear, politely or patiently restrain at impulse to do something. So that's that self-control. It goes to that self-control, man. Forbear, forego, or do something. Avoid, stay clear of. Give a wide berth. Cease, discontinue. So basically it's that control to not do certain things, man. Having that discipline and not to do or be impulsive to do certain things. In Will Smith's case, he should have had the control enough, even if it was he was uncomfortable, but still restrained from doing certain things, because he's in a professional setting, man. He's in a setting where millions of people are watching. So doing certain types of things in that form will be appropriate, and it makes him and his brand and really both sides look bad. All right, let's continue on. Let's go back to 3. Time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. So this relates to a time and season for certain things, what's appropriate according at that time, man. So certain things are in relating to that particular form may not be appropriate to do, like go on stage and slap somebody. That would be very inappropriate, man. And that individual he might slap, he might have got a reaction he might not want it, man. Then that could escalate further into a more complex situation, man. All right, let's go to let's continue on. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Let me see. That one you can use. So, let me say. So all things may be lawful, but not things are all expedient. And going expedient, expedient definition, action of an action, convenient or practical, although possibly inappropriate or immoral. So all things may be lawful. Because they're lawful doesn't mean, in a matter of speaking, you should do them, man. Because you have to use the balance of good judgment and good common sense, man. So let's go back to that verse. In a matter of speaking, because you can do it doesn't mean you always should, man. All things are lawful for me. Here's the one. 1 Corinthians 10 and 23. But I'll use that one too as well. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. So they're not always convenient or even practical or even common sense to do. But all things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. So they're not beneficial, ultimately. For example, you could do certain things lawfully, but is it wise to do it, man? It may not be wise or common sense to do it, man. Let's go down to finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. And we'll go 11. But put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles, which is the stratagem schemes of the devil. This is the point. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, and against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's what we're dealing with, spiritual wickedness in high places, very high places, doing some nasty things, man. For example, seeing how these people act, man, their mannerism, their behavior, man, that's spiritual, man, because they got demons on them. So we dealing with wickedness in high places, man. Influencing the behavior of these vessels, which is called the flesh, man. That's why you seeing people acting in a certain manner, you know. Let's go to the word witchcraft, because that goes to that sorcery, that witchcraft, a lot of wickedness in high places, and that's what you're seeing, man. The practice of witches, sorcery, enchantments, spells, intercourse with the devil, man. So we seeing a lot of practices of the sorcery enchantment. That goes to idolatry. Exodus 20 and let's go to Exodus. Yeah, go Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt suffer not a witch to live, man. Because a witch is put to death, man. Go to first of 1 Samuel 15. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft. Rebellion, stubbornness, is as iniquity, which is sin and idolatry. And this is what the nation of Israel and our people. For my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also reject thee. Thou made no priest unto me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh, I also forget thy children. For my people are sottish, they have not known me. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no understanding. Jeremiah 4:22. Hosea 4 and 6. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. They're wicked, man. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, I also reject thee from being king. That relates to King Saul, man. Talk about King Saul. Let's look up, because that incident last night, some people would think it's stage or pre-set up. It might have been. We dealing with actors. We dealing with Hollywood. You know, they always doing stuff behind the scenes. So, but then again, it could have been real. You know what I mean? Real emotion. You know what I mean? Being influenced. Like I said, we dealing with not that scripture. We dealing with wickedness in high places, man. It's not we wrestle not with flesh and we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in very high places, man. And we know that industry, Hollywood, Hollyweird, they involved in a lot of things behind the scenes, man. Enchantment, spells, and different things. You know what I mean? We know we that's just what it is. That's another lesson itself, man. So let's get one more. I ain't want to make this too long. This is just a little something quick, you know. Shalak, let me just get this, find this verse. I'm going to read it from RSV, 2 Corinthians 10:3-4. For through we live in the world, we are not carrying on the worldly war. For the weapons of our warfare are not worldly, they're spiritual. but have a divine power to destroy the strongholds, breaking down those wicked strongholds, man. You know, that's the RSV, which is the Revised Standard Version. I'll get it for the KJV. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to pull down the strongholds, casting down the imaginations, which are the thoughts, the schemes, and the things to do by thought, at every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh. So the opposition, man. And bringing into captivity every thought of obedience to Yahweh. So ultimately, it's going to fall and be obedient to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, man. For all these wickedness, man. For all these things that are high wicked places, man. They're going to be brought down. They're going to be brought down low, man. So this was something short relating to that. Shalakia. We'll give all praise Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Rakakadash. I hope it helps in some way. Brother Zayab. Shalom. Thanks.